second, although there might.
What's good, y'all? What's good? All right, so we got the stream ready. My bad for the delay. Shout out Roddy in the chat, man. What's good? What's good? Y'all, we got special guests here. You know him, you love him. Fucking July Flowers in the building again. What's good, bro?
How you doing, man? Glad to be here. About to do a little review, a little talk about this bullshit we got going.
Hell yeah, bro. So, y'all, we just did some coverage, or I'll kind of go over a little bit more. So, earlier this week, we did an interview with the man, the myth, the legend, TATE. We met bro at Camp Flognaw not too long ago. Was a really fun collab and a really fun video we did with TATE out there. Bro was in a fucking Ricky Bobby, fucking Talladega Nights, jumpsuit with the fucking pilot hat. Super interesting dude. We watched more of his music videos. Extremely entertaining guy. Has a super artistic eye. We seen him perform and open for Party of Two and Joey Valance and Bray over this spring. Insanely dope shows. Dude has a really dope eye for performance art and just everything all above. Super interested to have that conversation with bro. And we got to do it on the Crisis Magazine channel, which is super dope. So if y'all want to check that interview out, that is the first piece of content we had going on this week. And then immediately after that interview, we got to go straight over to Paramount Pictures and see the Jackass premiere before everybody else. And what was interesting about it is rewinding just a little bit further into the week, there was a free Jackass screening over over on Hollywood Boulevard, and they were giving out free stuff, free tickets to the movies. The guys from the movie were signing stuff, so I was able to see everyone in action in the giant ass shopping cart over here. Super crazy. They had like this giant, like it almost looked like a remote control shopping cart, but it was like a fucking go-kart that they had. So we have Dave England, Preston
wild.
Lacey, Steve-O, the Captain, Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, Rick Cossack, Danger Aaron. Yeah, dude. Super dope. Super crazy seeing them on there. Made this video. Got to interview only a few of them. Just Preston Lacey and Danger Aaron and Jeff Tremaine over there. Got to do a small video, but the Jackass Instagram saw how dedicated we were, how much we loved Jackass and the questions. So only a few days later, we got invited to go to Paramount Pictures and go to the actual Jackass premiere to interview the rest of the cast, which is super dope. So we're about to go over some of the cast interviews that we did, and then also go through the movie, because Julio, you saw the movie out there, and we're going to talk about kind of stunts that should have been used, stunts that were used, just kind of like a general consensus of what we're feeling about the new Jackass film.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, real quick. I got something from the Hollywood pop-up real quick.
Oh, you're going. I'm trying to rewind this whole movie real quick.
So huge Jackass fan, y'all. Even bigger Big Brother fan. As y'all know, we have the Crisis Magazine. So definitely have like a ton of Big Brother archives at the crib, but was able to get the original Jackass trilogy signed. I didn't bring the whole thing because I didn't know if I'd be able to get a silver pen, which was dumb. So I brought not the black version, but the blue version, and was able to get that camera don't do justice. Was able to get Steve-O's signature, Jeff Tremaine. I think this is Preston Lacey and Dave England. And then on the inside, we got a signature from the Captain, Johnny Knoxville, and Danger Aaron. I asked only Knoxville to sign this, but Danger Aaron's a piece of shit. Speaking of piece of shit, Danger Aaron, why the fuck did Danger Aaron sign my fucking Big Brother tapes? I have no idea. And why did he do it directly on top of Johnny Knoxville's signature? I also have no idea. But was able to get some of the actual fucking This is a grail right here. If you know, you know. So we got Rick Cossack, Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville, Danger Aaron, and then we got the Steve-O hit on the back. And then we got another Steve-O hit on the back. And then we got Dave England, Rick Cossack, Jeff Tremaine, and Danger Aaron. And then we got Jeff Tremaine, Rick Cossack, Johnny Knoxville, Danger Aaron. Once again, why the fuck did Danger Aaron sign this? I have no idea. He was not in any of these films. I think he just did it like while I wasn't looking. But major W. I was able to get those major pieces signed there. So yeah, this was over on Hollywood, not at the actual premiere.
That was pretty well. I mean, I will I guess vouch for you for a second, because the times that like we pulled up to work and hold up, everything good? Okay, cool. Times I pulled up to work with you and stuff. Yeah, your crib is decorated in that shit. Like you have like relics sitting on the wall for the most part, which is pretty crazy because I remember like a lot of the Big Brother and a lot of the older Jackass stuff being from my older cousin who was like 20 at the time, and I was like maybe 8. And like he would have that all set up in his room, and he'd just be watching, like he'd be watching Family Guy and like the older Family Guy, you know, when it was still actually like relevant. And then he would have like tapes of all the Jackass stuff, and we'd be like watching it into midnight, like whenever I'd go over and he'd like, you know, hang out with me for the like 10 times he would out of the year type shit. We would watch that stuff. Like he introduced me to it. And I was looking at it, I was like, damn, you got some relics, dude. Like, this is no like regular shit you can just like find in like the movie stores at this point. Like, you really have to like search for them. So I commend you for that, because I'm like, dude, I see how like rare it is for you to get the signatures, which is fucked, because if Aaron's over here covering up the signature that you want, I'm like, bro, that's he probably talked to Knoxville beforehand and was like, yo, bro, every signature you do, I'm gonna fuck it up. And it's like, damn, if I mean, it's crazy because this is what maybe like your second to third time maybe running into bro. Like last time we saw him was at Complex, and you ran the one interview that anybody in the whole area was able to get.
That
And you
is
got like
fried.
the
We
most from
haven't
him
even
and
told
Tremaine.
that story. I forgot about that. Yeah, y'all.
Dude, that shit was fried. You have to say
Julio was
that's a good starter right there.
Julio was there for that one. So when we were at Complex Con for the Babylon pop-up, we were the first people to run an interview with the captain right here. And was not
The one and only.
expecting.
They told us like, no, after this, y'all can't get any more interviews. This is the only one, and we got hella lucky. Like, y'all came in ready to fire. You had the guns loaded and ready to fire. So it's like they couldn't say no. But after that, they're like, yeah, no, that shit took like 15 minutes type shit. We can't have y'all doing like we can't have everybody here for 15 minutes. Or we're trying to get these fools out of here type shit.
On God, the shit was. So you don't know this. This is funny. Knoxville, I think, is afraid of me now, because after this interview for the Hollywood one, he saw the crisis microphone and was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like he was like, "What's this fucker about to ask me?" So when we pulled up for the premiere, I had to like take off the glasses and the shades because I knew bro was gonna be like, "Oh, bye." But
Oh
here's
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, you know.
bro was a little afraid. I don't think bro liked the video, but here's
Right.
the video. Here's the video for the people that
Introduce
haven't
yourself.
seen.
My name's Jeff Tremaine.
I'm Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny, you were at the Playboy Cardi concert recently. How was that? My kids wanted to go, so I took them. I look like the old guy, and I'm the only one who wore a primary color. So,
You still got like a sore thumb, huh?
yeah, I did.
You have top 3 favorite Playboy Cardi songs?
No, they sings one about cocaine, I think I like, right?
Okay, no.
Yeah, cocaine knows.
Bruh, edited that on the floor at Complex Con. Fucking bro was thinking we about to ask him about Jackass, and we asking him about Playboy Cardi. Bro was at the wrong event. But after that, we saw him at Hollywood Boulevard for the first thing we did, and you could see bro wanted no part in this interview with me.
When I got kicked in the face with a football by a professional football player. That was a great day for me.
Ryan Dunn shoving the car up his ass would be mine.
What's one stunt you want
What?
to remember?
Oh man. Probably the one where I had dick.
Cut that very meticulously. Bro wanted no.
So whoa, what?
Whoa, I don't know about that. And then some motherfuckers around him, that do like management with them are like, "Oh, you're Crisis Magazine, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am Crisis Magazine." They're like, "Oh, noted." What's that mean?
Right. Nah, I was gonna say no, because like that was I know these guys are like I mean, to a lot of people, they're like, rappers to a higher level like this. They follow them in the same light. But these guys are like filmmakers. These guys are stuntmen. So it very, very very interesting because I've always wondered like, how much media press do these fools really get when it comes to like the stuff that they do. But I'm like, I mean, you kind of have been like a flea on the back of their ass for a hot minute. You just like, you're always there. Nobody knows why. They're like, oh, shoot, he's here. Oh, man, he's either really a big fan or he's really here just for the content or he's just getting paid by somebody to be here.
It's
But
the
you're
new
like,
it's the new age
you're
of
just a
shit because
fan.
they're so damn old where like TMZ was the motherfuckers asking the questions, like E News and all that shit. But now there's just like it's a niche franchise. So like they when they see like the new blood, the new bucks come in that are doing coverage, they're like, "Oh, like what is this shit?" Like I don't think they're like privy to like the new social media shit, which is interesting. So yeah, we were able to get invited by Jackass and Paramount Pictures to see the new movie Jackass Best and Last. It was promoted online and by the cast as the last and final Jackass franchise and installment. It's the fifth movie if you don't count the point fives, the bad grandpas, the documentaries and all that. But it was really cool. We here I'll pull up the actual video and then we'll go one by one into some of like the individual interviews and then we'll go into the actual review. So here was our experience at the Jackass premiere.
How about butt piercing?
What's good, y'all? TATE Canyon here, and today we're gonna be going to the Jackass Best and Last premiere. We're gonna be asking the cast what their super dope. We got to like cut the line of everyone in will call. We had like super easy access. We got to walk in. There was like the giant shopping cart, fucking big ass red carpet. We got to have free popcorn, sodas, and then we immediately just walk right into the theater over on Paramount, like literally on Paramount Pictures lot, which was crazy. My first time ever there. And they played the movie for the first time. Super crazy. And it was also before a lot of the actual cast had seen the movie, which we'll talk about later, which I thought was odd. But yeah, then afterwards, after the movie, we got to interview the cast for the actual red carpet. What they want to be remembered for. Stay till the end because we do got a giveaway for y'all. Let's go. And which stunt is your favorite of all time from Jackass?
The Ryan Dunn car up the asses because it was Ryan.
The whole entire thing.
Probably the kite. Yeah.
Everyone that I survived.
Fucking Loomis.
Maybe Ryan's butt X-ray.
Yeah, not just
Legend.
bullshit. The bungee jump.
Probably the Taliban.
Legend.
I mean, my favorite bit is Terror Taxi. Anything where they put anything inside their butt, that's probably gotta be
I love the giant hand. Yeah.
The high five.
Yeah, high
The
five.
collective laughs after that. Anything where they put something inside their butt is crazy.
Yeah, and that was
collective
kind of the
laugh.
same. Like every time someone would say something really good, everyone in the crowd would just be like a bit. Like everyone's like, "Yeah, that the great one."
Electric Avenue was pretty good.
Ryan Dunn stuck the car up his butt.
Something new that we ain't filmed yet.
And whenever they get hit in the dick. Them invading my house.
The shock collar on the penis.
Bungee jump was renamed.
Which one do I want to be remembered for? The girl who did crazy shit to her mouth.
Crazy. So now we have some clips that have blown up. Bro, holy shit. Shout out Jackass. Some of these clips went absolutely retarded. Yeah, fucking Steve-O blowing everyone out of the fucking water with this clip. Want to be remembered for in Jackass now that it's over. Bro seemed upset. He was like, "Damn, it's over."
How about butt piercing?
And which stunt is your favorite of all time from Jackass?
Probably that Knoxville's.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just that Knoxville's bullshit.
Can I get a photo? You're the best. Thank you, Steve-O.
You know, the craziest thing right here, really wild to me because like I've been following Steve-O's like story when it comes to like his just personal life. And bro, it's crazy how like I remember, I think it was like Jackass 2 or 3. I want to say it would probably been
Definitely
2.
two.
This was when he was like in the bender zone, like bro was a true geeker. And he went to that premiere like of Jackass 2, and he was like literally pissing on the floor, fried as hell, and he was like,
Yeah.
"This is my last hurrah." Like he literally thought, and I remember watching that whole documentary he had about his addictions and shit, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I literally thought that was it for me. Like this is it. Like I'm nobody's gonna remember me for anything else after this. I'm
Whoa,
done.
whoa, whoa,
I'm
whoa,
gonna be
whoa, whoa,
over with."
whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yo, pause.
whoa,
Whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa,
whoa, chill.
whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
whoa,
Yo,
whoa,
delete. Computer,
whoa,
delete that.
whoa.
Computer, firewall computer.
Computer,
Like,
delete. Computer, firewall.
like it's
Whoa.
shit like this, bro. Like he was literally
Whoa,
on some like,
whoa,
yo,
whoa,
yo, cut it,
whoa,
cut
whoa.
the
Stop. Computer, firewall. Stop.
firewall, delete, delete firewall,
What the fuck?
bro.
Yeah, Steve-O was a menace on the red carpets.
Dude, he was
I
a
just looked
menace.
up
Like,
Steve-O
and
red
this is,
carpet.
dude, and this is the most tame he's been in this video specifically. But the reason why I'm saying this is because, bro, back then he was so geeked, he was so off so much shit, and now he's like went through the ringer. He found sobriety. He's good and healthy now. He's been doing his podcast. He's been running a CBD company. Like he's actually like come up and he's done a lot of good shit recently. And then seeing your videos of him going down that red carpet, I'm like, bro, this is such a stark like dynamic between how he was before, like when he was really like fully into Jackass, when this was his like his bread and butter. That's because it's weird because that's how people knew him. So he would go to parties and shows and he'd get wasted and do stunts and then just go crazy just as he would on the shoots. But now he's older and he's getting colonoscopies and shit. He doesn't know what the fucking like whatever the fuck he's older now, he's doing his thing, and then it's like, okay, seeing him be in this realm now where he's like almost taking that walk like it's like a wow, I didn't think I would be here almost. Like I kind of like looking at his face, it's like, bro, he's like, I didn't think I would be here. I'm just glad we're here and able to talk about this because like literally he could have been one of those guys that we heard on the news where he passed away to an OD or some shit like that. Like he's one of the soldiers that made it out, and I'm humbled to say like yes, like look at his story and like take a look at what he's gone through because dude, he was on a path of self-destruction for a long time, leading all the way up to when Jackass was really in its prime, and then everything after he's just had to take life into his own hands, and he did that. He did what he had to do, and now he's like I wouldn't say, I mean, he's always been loved. Like everybody knows that's just the nature of the beast. Like he is the beast. We love his nature, but at sometimes we don't take into consideration what the beast has to do to keep that alive and within himself. So it's one of those things where like, dude, we have to really like look at him as a human being and be like, dude, like you're here. We're thankful that you're here because I mean, R.I.P. to Ryan Dunn, dude. But it's like shit like this that really like took a lot of their energy out of their bodies to make this happen. Ryan Dunn was I mean, I wouldn't say it's a different story, but I mean, it easily could have been Steve-O too. Like, if he didn't take that turnaround, take that U-turn back to the light, it could have gotten really dark for him.
Completely agreed. And on the topic of Ryan Dunn, the next most popular clip from the Jackass premiere was Knoxville.
The Ryan Dunn car up the asses because it was Ryan. Ryan Dunn.
Dude, and that was a thing too, watching the film, like watching the film whenever they had like the cutoffs where they're like, they're really saying this is the last movie. Come on, Captain, is this really the last one? And he looks at the camera, he's like, it's over. I'm like, bro, like you can see it in his face. Like you can just tell by their demeanor, he's trying to like ham it up for the cameras or whatever, but you can tell like, oh no, this is really like, he's like, no, this is the last one. This is the last one. I'm like, nah, dude, there has to be somebody that's gonna carry this torch, and this is gonna be like one of those things where he's gonna be sitting in the like literally in the captain's chair, and he's just like watching motherfuckers getting fucked up. Like, I already
Agreed.
know. Like,
He's definitely at the end for sure. And speaking of the new blood, the
He is
next one
specifically,
right
yeah.
here, someone who's just fucking happy to be here.
Probably
Jackass.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to be remembered for now that it's over?
I mean anything with cacti.
What's your favorite? Motherfucker loves the cacti. Motherfuckers are frying him in the description, bro.
Dude, he does have a crazy suit on. Not gonna lie.
Motherfuckers are frying him in the comments.
I wonder if that's like a joke.
He is actually that fucking big.
Bro.
Bro, why they gotta do Jackass like that? Why they gotta do bro like this?
He's Kingpin, bro. He's the boss now, bro. He's gonna be the next one up, bro. Watch.
Hey, he was the MPV for this one. We got Loomis tweaking. Bro was moving in stop motion. I found it very odd how hard they were going on Bam for sobriety, and how, like, since Ryan's death, they were so hard on everyone for being sober, and then here's Loomis fucking absolutely deep fried.
You know, I'm looking at his armband too, and it says Ryan Dunn. He has to be mourning or something, bro. Like, I feel a lot of these guys are mourning because didn't Ryan make appearances in this last film? I'm almost positive he made an appearance or two in this last film.
We could go on to the actual review aspect of the film now. So, like, yeah, so Jackass Best and Last was almost like a clip show of sorts, where we got to see.
It was, huh?
Yeah, and we got to see like honestly, it's in the name, quite literally. We have the best scenes of Jackass, where it's like, you know, from the MTV show, from Big Brother, from number 1, 2, 3, and then we have a few of the last stunts they ever filmed in a week span in the course of this past year, with the new cast and a few of the old cast, and also was able to unearth an unseen stunt from number 4 with Bam Margera that no one's seen. So, yeah, a ton of new stuff. But what a lot of people weren't expecting was which stunts from the archive they'd pull out, and which ones we hadn't seen, which ones we did not see, and what was going to be some of the new stuff, and some of the old stunts that we have seen or that have been online before that were in this new film, was the self-defense test that Johnny did, the first kind of stunt they did and filmed for Jackass, where Knoxville tested self-defense equipment on himself, the taser, the stun gun, the bear mace, and then finally getting to shoot himself, where he kind of briefly tells the story about being shot. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of them using this, while I do think it's important, because frankly, as a big Jackass fan, I've heard Knoxville tell this story in almost funnier fashions and better ways before. So as someone who was a big fan of the franchise, it was cool to finally see like this stunt have a home per se, but it was also kind of a bummer because it wasn't really anything we haven't seen yet before, because it's been online, it's been there before.
Yeah,
Another stunt from
one.
I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, with like, I have the same idea as you do when it comes to like how that was wholly portrayed, when regards was like, oh yeah, this is like the one scene that I did where I shot myself in the chest. But I remember like the old MTV reruns, they would run that episode where it was like, oh, my name is Johnny Knoxville and I'm testing self-defense items. And he would be like, oh yeah, tase me, pepper spray me, hit me with was it a beanbag shot or something like that. You know, it'd be like that. But this one specifically, having the bulletproof vest on that he bought offline, or bought from like a retailer, he had no real clue if that was really like a rated bulletproof chest. Like, he had no idea. It was like, oh yeah, I'm just buying the cheapest bulletproof vest that I can, and I'm gonna put a 9mm into it and see what happens. it's like, hey, we all looked and heard about it, and we're like, all right, yeah, maybe he did that because that was all the self defense. Like, he had a whole series where it was like, oh, these are me testing self defense items, tasers, pepper spray, less than lethal bullets. But then he actually put on a vest and shot himself. We're like, bro, there's no way that you did that, especially back in like 2000, 2005, 2006, when everybody was like, well, no, it started like 2000, so like 2002,
2001 maybe.
2003, 2004. Yeah, people were like, no way, no way. But to actually see that happen, I'm like, bro, like, motherfuckers on YouTube are doing this same shit. They're doing the same shit. You're like, oh yeah, put on a bulletproof vest and shoot me in the chest with the 50 cal and see what happens. And they're like, oh yeah, we're testing Timo armor today and see what happens. I'm like, he was really one of those guys that was like, oh yeah, I started once they started it, but I was like, I'm putting myself in front of the line and make sure this shit works. And I'm like, seeing that video for the first one, I was like, okay, yeah, like I was really hoping Man, I have to like dig back in my brain because I can't remember if they had like an opening sequence because
Yeah, they had the opening
Jackass
sequence in the
has.
all white. Where
Yeah,
they
it's where they're like
introduce
moving
each
through the
other.
rooms. Okay, yeah, okay. So ask me on that. I'm not a real fan. I remember it. I just probably don't remember it type shit. But that was so wild to me hearing about it because I've always heard about that stunt and I've always like known that it was a part of his self defense video. And that was one of the clips that never made it. So I was like, okay, I see the traces of it. Like I see how like he's moving up in the levels of like, okay, we're trying pepper spray. Now we're trying this. Now we're trying that. And the last thing would have been a bullet to the chest with the plate on type shit. And I'm like, okay, but we never got to see that because obviously they're like, oh, that's too metal for anybody to be watching right now, so we can't do it. But that was
Yeah,
real. Like that shit actually happened. And I'm like, okay, so now getting to see it on the big screen of all the silver screen of all things, that's wild.
it is.
Because
And
where
it
else
was
are
a
we gonna
really
get it
good
reviewed?
call out for sure. For me though, they included it in the Big Brother documentary in full. So like
Right.
for that context, if you're like a real fan or want the context of like what the um the self-defense thing was, like they really give like the real full no cut around the corners story about the self-defense equipment and like how Johnny like came to LA with no money. He just had his daughter. Like this stunt was like the thing that like if this didn't go through, nothing was happening. And it still didn't happen, but it was the tenacity and how wild it was and how well he was able to talk to the camera is what made Jackass happen. And I think that's the thing that I like about the Big Brother documentary more is they tell that story and give you that context of why it matters so much more. And there's a few other stunts that they included in kind of like the Hall of Fame of Jackass, of what you could say the best and last of Jackass that they included that I wasn't necessarily like the biggest fan of. Like the Poo Cocktail Supreme. That is top 5 stunts of all time. But I feel like anyone who's seen Jackass knows what the Poo Cocktail Supreme is and is already familiar. And even for diehard fans or maybe people who haven't seen the Poo Cocktail Supreme, one of my favorite jokes in the Poo Cocktail Supreme is Steve-O. If you didn't have the those goggles and earplugs on, that poo would have gotten in your mouth. Like Steve-O had all of this like equipment on so the poo wouldn't get in his nose and his ears and his eyes, but motherfucker screamed the whole time and all of it went directly up into his mouth. And like they cut one of the funniest prank or one of the funniest jokes Knoxville says in that like bit because it's true. Like Steve-O was so damn scared. Like he literally had just a funnel of poo go directly in his fucking mouth. So I feel like there's
Yeah,
like a
like a
lot of
whole set
stuff
of veneers
missing
at that
from like those Hall of Fame jokes. Same with butt X-ray with Ryan Dunn. Like that is a Hall of Fame stunt. Definitely necessary. Everyone loves it. But when they take the car out of Dunn's ass, that is like that is like the funniest part. You can't cut.
And they cut it out, huh?
Yeah,
You
they
didn't get to
can't
see
cut
that.
out certain
That
parts
that
of
was
the
the one part
stunt.
I was waiting for.
There's
I was waiting for that part because I was like, whoa, come on
there's
now.
so much missing and there's like a charm to Jackass that I think is like that's what makes a Jackass film. You have the Helvetica, you have the sense of humor, you have the camaraderie with the guys, but you also have a few things that like make a Jackass film, which is the soundtrack, how each stunt leads into the next one, and how you never see like true pain, if that makes sense. Like you never see like a stunt go wrong in a Jackass film, if that ever makes sense. Like for Johnny including two stunts, which I think are important for the last aspect of Jackass Best and Last, but also not my favorite, is Knoxville included an OG prank, the hardware store, and then also included the bull, the magic trick from Jackass number 4, but instead of just playing the original clip from the bull and the original clip from the hardware store, you see a little bit more to the story. And when I mean like a little bit more to the story, I mean you see fucking bad shit happen. You see consequences ensue like you've never seen in a Jackass film. And what I mean is in the bull stunt in Jackass 4, it starts off, I am Johnny the Magnificent. I am about to make this milk disappear. You see the milk disappear, you see him get knocked, and then it's done. For this, it really paints a picture, at least from Knoxville as the director in this film, where you see him meticulously choose to play that first take of the bull, so you can see the brain trauma actually come through. Like you see the first hit happen, and you see Knoxville coincide with Tremaine. Did we get it? No, we didn't get it. So Knoxville bucks up.
Well, he said it didn't look. He said it didn't look as good as you wanted it to. What do you want to do? And he's like, let's do it again. And I'm like, bro, nobody in their right fucking mind would want to do that shit again. But he was like, grab me by my nuts. I'm gonna walk in there. This bull's gonna fucking get it. I was like, bro, hell, like, so weird because you always think, oh, this is always like a one and done thing, but no, you never get to see the second takes. I think it was like maybe he got hit like once and then they try to do it again and it didn't go through the second time either. So he's like, no, get the big bull. He's like, no, get the big boy. And they're like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, no, get the good bull. Get the bull that's actually gonna hit me. And they got the bull that hit him, and that was the bull. Am I right on that?
No, you were
I think I remember that. He was like,
you're definitely right.
He was like, switch the bull out. He's like, switch the bull out or something like that. I don't know if that's the right.
No,
I'm
you
pretty
are
sure
right.
he did
You
that
are
at
right.
the ranch.
You're definitely right. They had the first take in Jackass 5 that you don't see in Jackass Forever right here is the first initial take with the bull, and essentially, Knoxville gets hit. He just kind of goes to the side, and it's not what he was looking for. But here in Jackass number 4, you see the second take with a different bull, and his bull fucked him up.
Hold on. Oh no.
It took a lap. All right, let's go. Let's get it.
1, 2, 3, boom. And what you see in Jackass number 5 is it is not this fast.
He got hit like once or twice. He got hit and he like fell, but he didn't like.
No, he's asleep right here.
He's coming to.
But you see him come to very quickly. And
that was a violent brawl. One-sided.
You see the peanut gallery react. But then immediately you see Knoxville get taped up, and you see he's good.
How are you?
Good. You don't see anything bad happen to Knoxville, like particularly. But what we know now in Jackass number 5 is this was Knoxville's last stunt ever. This is the stunt that put Knoxville into retirement because after the fact he realized he cannot fuck around with bulls anymore. And that is my reasoning of why I believe Knoxville included a lot of these older, slightly unseen but slightly altered stunts is you see why the Jackass boys and why Knoxville and this specific crew are the only group of people that could really do this type of shit and succeed, to whatever degree you think that may be, because there's a reason why you haven't seen anybody else succeed at some shit like this, and it's because there's massive, massive, deathly repercussions here. And right here, you see Knoxville really, really take it. And from the rest of this film, you get to see like almost like a different side of the Jackass franchise, of like kind of what happens when shit goes wrong. And when we're talking about all of these old stunts and me complaining and saying, man, I wish I didn't see this, man, I wish we had this, I wish we had that, I have a list of stunts that have not been released and that have been shelved that I think still paint this similar type of story that I think would have made a much better type of ending, honestly. Because we do have a completely functional archive right here online of all the stunts from all the previous Jackass films that have never seen the light of day. And I gotta be careful with what I show here on stream so I don't get banned. But we could fast forward to Jackass number 4 right here, where, you know, nothing super crazy, but this could have been a, you know, few seconds clip. We have an outtake of the cup test where McGeehee gets hit in the nuts by Francis Ngannou. And then we also have one, I don't know why it's not in here, of a bowling take that we hadn't seen before. There are a few different sports that we didn't see for the cup test part 2. So
I was gonna say, yeah, because I remember seeing Nagano hitting him in the fucking. I remember that frame. I remember watching him. Like, me and my girlfriend were like, "Ugh." I mean, he took that one up in the he took that hit hard, bro.
He took a
and he's
ton
up
of
at,
hits.
like, bro, they got him on 2 chairs right now,
His
bro.
nut down with the pogo stick.
Yeah, dude, that one was yeah. And I guess I will say, like, real quick about the Knoxville stuff. Definitely one of those things where it was like when I saw the film and I saw those first 2 like takes of him getting hit by the bull that wasn't the bull that really hit him. I was like, bro, you took 2 baseballs to the back just to see what the real one feels like. I'm like, just to see what a cannonball feels like. I'm like, bro, like, he was really into it, and like, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, like, that this whole movie, like, not even the movie, but the idea, the energy, and like everything that is into being a part of the Jackass team literally lives through him, to the point where he was like, bro, let me get round 3 with the bull.
Yeah.
I could have swore he got at least 3 rounds until they switched the bull, and they're like, yo, let's get a different bull in there. He'll really hit you. And they're like, all right, that's the bull that'll take you out if you really want it. And he was like, bro, give it to me. I want it. And I'm like, bro, that is like some real adrenaline junkie shit, but some like real like, yo, like real like do it for the Vine shit. Like, this guy's like down for the, like, some real do it for the Vine shit. And it's, to me, that's wild. But I also wish that with the Last and Forever era of this film, because I already know they're gonna put out like the Last and Forever 0.5, 0.75, or, you know, whatever they want to do.
So that's
they're
what
gonna
the
release
bummer
like another.
is when I spoke to Tremaine, he said no. He said no 0.5, nothing.
You know, I would hope that they do, because I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't feel like it was like the book isn't completely closed. Like, they really could have done a lot.
I agree. And
I feel like they could have done
that
like
book not being closed is this new cast that they had for Forever.
Right, dude. They didn't even put him in the final clip when everybody's like going out in a big fiery flame of glory. I'm like, dude, like, put the new guys in there. Have them be angels picking your bodies up, taking them into the sky and making it look all pretty. I'm like, bro, that would have been fire to see. But no, there's a lot of things that they could have done, but I feel like they just leave it up to interpretation, you know?
Agreed. So the new cast for Jackass Forever from so essentially with the big ass gap between Jackass 3.5 and Jackass Forever, we had COVID and there was a little bit of some tensions between BAM and the Dick House Entertainment crew. So in the middle, we kind of got this new cast of Jackass, Zach Holmes, Jasper Dolphin, Rachel Wolfson, Poopies, and Eric Manaka. And we got a lot of really cool stunts from these people. I'm a huge Golf Wang
Where's
fan,
Eric?
huge Loiter Squad fan. I loved seeing Jasper and Dark Shark on the big screen. Seeing Dark Shark get some more stunts in Jackass 4.5 was awesome. I think he was a great adaptation because like you have Jasper that's like new blood, but then you have Dark Shark that's like as old as the OGs, and he's able to hang with them, but still get just as scared as like a Preston or a Bam. So like seeing Dark Shark in there, I feel like everyone is in agreement. He's just great energy there. People have some mixed feelings about Rachel Wolfson's involvement. People have some mixed feelings about Jackass and Jasper and Poopy's involvement. I'm not the biggest fan of Poopies, but what I will say about bro is this motherfucker can take a hit, and through what he endured with Jackass Shark Week, I feel like he definitely earned a spot to be with the rest of the guys for real and have like a earned spot on the Jackass crew. It's just what I feel like is upsetting and why people are upset with this new crew of people is no one is the captain. No one's Knoxville. So you can't have Jasper lead the crew. It would feel wrong if Zach was leading the crew. Rachel wouldn't feel right because it's a woman. And then Poopies, while I think he's actually a really good frontman, he's just frankly too fucking stupid. And like I feel like that's his biggest like the best thing about Poopies is how fucking retarded he is, but that's also his biggest fault is how fucking retarded he is. So like you could only direct Poopies. You can't have that man carry a whole franchise on his back. Same with any of these other people. So when you have like a new coming of a franchise, having someone like Eric Andre or Danny Duncan or someone that like has been in the host seat and has been in the Knoxville chair. So if you wanted to go out and make a series, which has been speculated that they've been filming for the past few years, but hasn't been picked up, like it would be like nice to see, this new crowd of people take initiative. But as we're about to see with the rest of these scrapped stunts that we never got to see, it kind of leads more towards lost opportunity because right here you see a ton of scrap stunts with Eric Manaka. We don't see, I didn't mention Eric Manaka a lot because he was added for Jackass Forever, but you don't get to see a lot of stunts from him, mainly because he's South African. So he spent a lot of his time in South Africa for the rollout of the film. But that also means that he doesn't make an appearance in number 5. He doesn't make an appearance in any of like this rollout material. And it kind of seems like this man took this spot and it could have gone towards someone like, an Eric Andre, a Danny Duncan, a Rab himself, a DiCamillo, somebody that like would like to be in this spot. Like even like I know a lot of people don't like the idea, but Supreme Patty would have been funny.
It was kind of wild seeing because I know how you feel about the New Blood when it comes to this film, and obviously when it comes to like the previous films too. The one thing that I would say I appreciated about about Jackass was that he was just on the internet, like he was just doing stunts just to do stunts. Like I remember him doing I think it was the suicide vest, and it was literally a strap. A vest made of firecrackers. He lit it and it ran off all over his body.
Yes,
he took it to the
3 point or 4.5 was Zach.
Yes, yeah. So he he's willing to do the crazy shit. Like he's willing to take the pain. So like they see him as a possible opportunity for that. I want to say opportunity, but I want to say a possible candidate for being able to withstand such things. Jasper, though, from what I understand, I mean, from 4.5, as you've seen, like him and Tremaine, Odd Future Wolf, like even in the, I don't know if you saw it, but in the credits of the film,
Yes, they have the Odd Future call out.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. I was like, yo, OFWKTA was mentioned. I was like, okay, so they know. But it was one of those things where I was like, okay, like Jasper's there for a reason. Like he's been there. He's been around when Tremaine was helping out with Loader Squad, because Loader Squad was pretty much like a makeshift Jackass. Like it was kind of just like its own version. It had everything, you know, it had everything that it had to have for it to be considered that. It ran on Adult Swim. It was in a pocket that nobody was really aware of. So I was like, okay, like it's good to have him there. Rachel, for sure, I'm like, okay, how does she fit into this? But I kind of like the energy that she brings as being kind of like it's kind of a weird idea, but I'm thinking like a matriarch of it. It's like, oh, hey, I'm willing to deal with you guys, so I'm willing to make this presentable, and I'm willing to like be a referee or be a part of this in any way that I can. And that's saying a lot compared to like, I can't think of anybody else who would want to be like in that shit. I can't think of anybody else, because she came in so like properly, like, hey, like, all right, we're gonna take a scorpion to the mouth, and we're gonna do tasers and shit. Like, all right, cool. Like she did her dues, but in a sense though, there was no other like female within the time frame that when Jackass started up until now where they're like, oh yeah, she can be the matriarch. Other than Bam's mother. Bam's mother probably dealt with a lot of the bullshit, but she never like dealt with like a personal stunt where she had to like sit in the hot seat and take it to the face. But
we actually do.
I'm always like,
we actually do.
Okay, then fill me in. Fill me in.
So to the people that are unaware, taking a dab right now, but welcome. If you guys aren't familiar, Stephanie Hodge is technically the first Jackass female.
For real? Okay. But what were her like? Did you have it like? What are her listed stunts? Like, did she do anything crazy, or was she just like a?
So like Stephanie Hodge was one of the OG women from the Jackass franchise. One of the first women that was down and bout. I would have liked to have seen. See, I love having Rachel's involvement. I like how they promote her as the woman, the first honorary woman Jackass. But for Jackass Forever, like you just said, with all the call-outs, with the credits, and them giving their flowers to all the people that have worked in Jackass in the past, Stephanie Hodge is a badass. Stephanie Hodge, if you guys aren't familiar, she makes appearances in the very, very first Jackass films. Right here. I don't know how much of this I could play, but if you guys know where we are and what stunt this is, she always put on a costume and always put on for the guys. And whenever they needed, here we are, a woman or someone to be a side character in a stunt.
So wild.
We had Stephanie. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this has relevance. But this is an insert from Big Brother magazine. Yeah, so Stephanie was in the what would you call this? There's not a way you could say that stunt on YouTube, but all the guys skied out into a cup, and she's like the nurse that plays the nurse. And you don't see her. And this is something with the theme of like, there's a lot of stuff in the Jackass vault that we could see that has not been seen yet. One of the stunts from the Jackass vault that has not been seen yet is from Stephanie. During Winter Fat Fucks, when they're all going down the sledded hill and they're going up into the big ramp. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So this is during the early days of Jackass. Actually, I don't think it was fat fucks. I think it might have been for snow tubing. I could be wrong because I couldn't see them wanting to do this after the fact.
Dress up, period. He just looks cute in anything you put
So
in.
wild.
Preston too.
So
I like
Stephanie
how deep
wasn't.
of a rabbit hole we're going down right now because this is crazy.
Stephanie was actually. It might have been fat fucks. It might have been fat fucks.
All right, well, pull the fat up.
Oh my god.
Oh, whoa.
Now I'm ready to rock.
Tires and need wings on the barnyard pig. You're too fat to fly, and there ain't no wings on your big ass.
So during this filming, Stephanie was on an air mattress, and I don't know
They
if there
drop on it and she'd just fly off.
I see. I don't
shit?
remember. See, let me see if it's on. It could be on this website. So I think how the story goes is there was either a generator tied to this to this air mattress, or the air mattress just went fucking flying. But long story short, Stephanie was down and went fucking flying and broke like all of her ribs, was like couldn't walk for 3 months, had like major traumatic therapy. It was a really, really, really bad injury, and the stunt has still not to have been
is the
seen
official
to this
Jackass.
day. Let me see if there's.
I would doubt if it was that serious of an injury that they would actually have like footage of it, but that is.
They do
kind
have footage
wild
of it. They
for
just
them.
never used it.
Damn.
So there is footage. They just didn't.
Damn.
They just never. They never played it out of respect.
That's true. I
Because
guess I
she
could
was
see that too,
really,
being like,
really,
yeah.
really injured from that stunt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
rightfully so has retired from her Jackass career since. But shout out
So
to
wild.
Rachel. She helped share a lot of the interviews we did and blew some of those up. And I am a fan of her
Shouts out.
comedy, like her peanut gallery. Like I feel like since the loss of Ryan and Bam, there's been a lot of loss with the crew. So I do feel like her involvement in the peanut gallery is valuable. But I wish there were more stunts. Here's a video
her
talking about
considerably.
Stephanie.
To make matters even worse, Lyndon's son was present during the incident and had to witness the whole thing. To confirm
Whoops.
In 2002, Jackass threw a promotional event, which was a town hall meeting that included members of the Jackass. Dave England.
Actually, this is the next. This is actually the next stunt I was going to talk about. Whoops. Where's the one about Stephanie, though?
Show like Jackass. Knoxville.
Look at that
Night vision. So,
I will say, like, real quick.
Devo hitting Shaq with a candy.
R.I.P. to, I mean, I don't say R.I.P., but blessings to Stephanie for her hard work into this film, and basically how these guys got their foot into the door. But my question for you, because you were there, how weird was it seeing Bam's parents walk the carpet but not Bam?
I actually was so stoked to see it, dude. I'll play the clip real quick. Shout out April, shout out Phil. Every interview they did with so much class and so much respect to not only Bam but the other guys. Bam has really gone through it all, and I really like. There's some times that April and Phil have been thrown under the bus a few times, but like really, I'm gonna take the moment to say shout out April and Phil, bro.
Probably the Taliban.
The Taliban?
Yeah.
One more. What's one thing you're gonna miss about Jackass?
Them invading my house.
Thank you, April. Have a good one. So nice. Like and it's real. Like you could see
Yeah.
for 3 of the people where you could really, really tell like how much
She's
they're
a
gonna
mom
miss
at
this
heart, for
shit.
real.
Like Knoxville, April, and Steve-O, like you could tell in their voice how much they are really gonna miss this shit. And it's really because it's like for April it's her boys, and for Knoxville
Yeah.
and Steve-O it's like the shit they've built their whole lives over, for real. Same with the others, but for real, this is like
Yeah.
Steve-O. You could see it in his voice and his demeanor. Like it really shows. Like
Bro, he didn't think he would be there. He really didn't think he would last up until that point. And the fact that he's there for like the best and last, and he's able to be a part of it, and he's just, you know, not to put any negative connotation, on it, but the fact that he wasn't like a mentioned character like Ryan Dunn would have been like, you know, that's really crazy. And you know, R.I.P. to Ryan Dunn and everything. Thank you for everything you've done for us, but it's just it's one of those things, you know, like everybody does it for entertainment, and I know for like looking at her response too, like that's a mother at heart, where she's like, oh, these are all my son's nasty little friends coming around to do a little ruckus. Like she doesn't care that it possibly gave her husband PTSD. He's afraid of people coming in and beating his ass and shit. But it's like
they knew it was
it's
love
one of those
too.
things,
Like you could really
yeah,
hear
they knew
it in their
was love.
voice.
Like everybody can tell. Yeah, exactly. That's what you can tell with everybody across the board. It's like, even though we had bad times, bro, it was all love. Like I wouldn't trade these moments for anything else. And it's like, it's so wild to, I mean, for me to see it, I was like watching it, I was like, I wouldn't think that Bam would be there, but his parents to be there and they got invited. I was like, okay, that's pretty wild, because
I didn't think so,
definitely
because
they deserve-
it's they're
Well,
just as
yeah.
much they're just as big of a part of it as Bam.
Just as important, yeah.
And
They could have put in some videos with them being in their house, you know, like with the situations. That would have been pretty cool if we saw like a couple of skits where they're like, "Oh, we're going into Bam's house and we're about to, you know, fuck up Phil or some shit."
they had some
did
spots
some
at the
point.
end, like in the credits, you know, but
Right.
you couldn't do that now, especially without Bam. Like without Bam, it just doesn't make sense. But with April and Phil, man, there's a ton of interviews with other platforms where they are asked about it. And hey, April, so much class, just says it how it is. And then every once in a while, you know, April will say, you know, Bam's good with all the guys. He's still friends. But Phil, hey, shout out Phil. He is the one to stand up for Bam every time and say, well, except for a few. And he lets it be known. But every single time, why I say they do it with class is because they mention every time afterwards they're going to be friends. And Phil even said, I don't believe this is the last. I don't believe this is the last one, because as soon as Bam becomes friends with all them again, they're going to be right back at it. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that because of how things have gone down, but I really love Phil's behavior with saying, you know what? Tremaine and Knoxville really need to make up with him because he still doesn't feel right about this shit. But as soon as they do get together, bro, it is going to be a time and you guys are not ready.
Dude, and I loved the snippet of having Bam put into the Silence of the Lamb shit.
So good.
That was like before you told me, hey yo, this was like when he got hit with the contract saying he couldn't be on any of his like prescription drugs and all this shit. But like to see that shot of him being like, okay, like this really could have been in the last movie, but it wasn't. And it's so fried that because of litigation and because of what was happening behind the scenes, they couldn't put it out there. But like to finally see it, I was like, you know, dude, like this was beautiful. Like it's hard for me to say beautiful, but it was so enlightening to see, because I'm like, okay, at least it happened. And at least he got to, like, you know, at least the footage was caught, which is so wild to me and thinking in this way, because I'm like, God, I'm watching a film about people suffering type shit. And I'm like,
no, the Silence of the Lambs with Bam
time,
was some gold shit, because it's like, hey, it was the first day of shooting for Jackass 4, and Bam was like, I already went through the worst of it, so I'm good. And he's like, I already dealt with snakes, I'm good, which I think is so funny. And it's just such a.
And that's what they added. They had a rattlesnake into it to kind of give it that whole thing. But yeah, that was, to me, that was wild seeing Bam's entry into that for the Silence of the Lambs, because I was like, no way. Like, they did this with him, because I remember you telling me he was on set, like, he was there. It's just stuff happened and he couldn't participate in the movie further on. So, like, the fact that they at least have, like, a bit with him in there from that time frame was so fried, but
And that's what I want to talk about some more is, like, there's so much stuff from Jackass 4.
What the time when they were all in like marching band uniforms and they walked on the treadmill. I know Bam was in there too because I saw him in there. So I was like, okay, there has to be more than one skit being shot. But for this whole ideal of it being like, oh, the best and the last, like how many like shots are saved on an archive somewhere that he hasn't been able to put out yet. But I always kind of took like ideas with it because I'm like, oh, because they always mention it in the movies. There's like a shot they weren't able to get or something like that. I'm like, this is gonna pop up eventually. I don't know when, but it has to pop up soon because they're gonna try to do something with it where it's gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a film about all the unreleased stuff that we weren't able to do because now everything's all clean. But I couldn't.
And it's so weird because there's a reoccurring theme here with all of the scrapped and footage we're about to go into of what we'd like to see unearthed from Jackass, because it all goes down to technicality or repercussions or something else. Because I just mentioned how I'd love to see the Stephanie bit, but out of respect, they will not show that one. I would love to see some more stuff with Eric Manaka. I don't know why we didn't get that, but I understand if people don't want to see scrapped bits from the new cast, But then we go into Bam, and it's a little more interesting because it's kind of a mystery of how much they filmed in the first week before COVID shut down Jackass 4 production. And what we're about to watch here is some proof and also some other kind of instances of seeing Bam on set that was scrubbed. And it was also, I'll play first, it was also meticulously scrubbed in the same way that Bam's uncle, Don Vito, was also scrubbed from one of my all-time favorite Jackass stunts. There's a Jackass stunt that I want to see in Jackass 5 that we did not get to see, that after this one we're going to speak about, and it is my all-time favorite archive we need to see somehow in some Blu-ray. It's real, but first we are going to watch the Bam 4 archives.
Finishing with what is easily the most recognizable case of Jackass lost media, Jackass original member Bam Margera was arguably the most popular member after Johnny Knoxville. However, well-documented personal issues between Bam and the Jackass crew would cause him to not be included in the fourth cinematic installment of Jackass. This news came as a shock to many fans, as it was reported that filming for Jackass had already started taking place. Fans began speculating if Bam would be in the movie at all, and when the movie came out, he was. However, this came in the form of a blink-and-you-miss-it stunt that included several members jumping onto a treadmill in full marching band attire. He can also be heard very briefly in other clips.
Look at that pee-stained one right there. Ooh, dude.
But it's very clear that the Jackass team tried their best to cut out Bam as much as they could.
And because of YouTube, he can't show this, but the stunt in reference is Jackass 4 Human Wedgie, I think, with Wee Man and Preston, the triple wedgie.
I'm Wee Man, and
this is the triple wedgie. Were we going to see blood? I don't know, but man, this one got me excited.
This is a fucking.
Yeah.
So Bam is present in this bit.
He is.
And there's a lot of other stuff filmed this day that didn't make it to Jackass 4 that we're about to we're about to see right here. Some stuff that we didn't get to see is Aaron McGeehee and Poopies did a bicycle backhand that never got released. And in this, you could see them wearing bicycle clothes. So we never got to see that. And then we get to see another thing that didn't make it into Jackass 4, where Eric Manaka, Poopies, Dave England tried doing the underwater fart explosion. And you could see them right here in different outfits and in the trailer all trying it, but they all did not do it because Steve-O, I think, was the one that ended up doing the stunt.
Yeah. He was the one that was able to successfully do it.
Mm-hmm. And then another stunt that's super infamous is Aaron McGeehee and Dark Shark with the spider helmet. Poopies was originally the one that was supposed to be in the helmet with Aaron McGeehee. Aaron won, so he moved on, and Dark Shark was the next victim.
The short end of the stick.
So
and that's the beauty of it too, because I'm kind of happy that Dark Shark got put into that, because he's like I mean, for anybody that's a fan of like Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, and anything of that camp, he is like the OG that's just sitting in the back on like the big old chair. He's just watching shit happen. And the fact that he's able to be put into a position where he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing a stunt. And even though it's against his will for the most part, which is understandable, but it's funny. It's so wild to see that happen, because I would never think, watching the film and knowing like going into it that Jasper's a part of it, I would have never thought that he was like, okay, let me put my dad into one of these situations. And because, dude, it makes for like everybody was laughing in the theaters. They didn't care because they knew seeing this old ass fool, like, as he is going through everything that's happening, getting his ass bitten by a fucking bear. It's like, bro, this shit's funny as hell. He's like, and if you have the context behind it, if you're a fan coming in, you're like, oh, I know who Dark Shark is. A lot of people watching is like, who the hell is Dark Shark? But if you're a fan walking in, you're like, oh, God, this is Dark Shark? Oh, what the hell? This is the dude. Oh, no. What's happening? Like, it builds into the fandom of, like, all the people that are within it. And it's crazy to see that mesh of, like, okay, this is, like, people of Loader Squad, people of Jackass kind of coming together and, like, understand, like, oh, this is, like, it was because of Jasper that Dark Shark got into this, but it's also because Tyler got put into that, too. That was crazy to see, because when Tyler was in that movie, I was like, oh my God, like I would have never thought. And it was beautiful to have him be the motherfucker on the piano doing this shit, because at the time that was his whole album, was being the piano kid type shit. I'm like,
that was hella funny.
Igor or whatever. I think so. I think it was the right.
It was around then. That shit was hella good. Tyler's involvement in Jackass was hilarious, and I feel like Jasper just knew, because of Bam's involvement and that missing link of having Dunn and Vito and Bam missing, that Jasper would be that olive tree of, family and involvement to kind of bring that fresh blood in there. And speaking of Bam and kind of that loss within the Jackass franchise right here, of the kind of the void that Jasper filled, this is my all-time favorite stunt that has never been seen to date. And I asked Jeff Tremaine about it, and he said we're going to see it on YouTube one day probably, meaning we will never see this shit. But for some context, are you familiar with who Don Vito is?
But I mean, I think, was he the original guy that was used in the skit where they like made him look like a Taliban motherfucker and they put like pubes on his face and shit?
No, that would be
the original guy for that, or was that Dave England?
No, so that would be Danger Aaron that did Terror Taxi. Okay. Don Vito was Bam's uncle and made tons of appearances in Viva La Bam.
Oh, is that really him?
Yeah. This is Don Vito.
What? Yo, whoa. You're telling me that skinny fool that I just saw on
No.
Don
Vito. Well, who you saw in Terror Taxi is Danger Aaron.
Danger Aaron. Yeah.
This is Terror Taxi.
I'm thinking of another person. I'm thinking of the
Loomis.
Never mind. Yeah, I'm thinking of Loomis. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I was
Loomis is
my bad, my bad.
Loomis is one of Knoxville's homies.
Yeah. I'm just off of it right now. My bad. I was like, my correlation of all the people that are in this is like, okay,
Yeah, so Don
figuring it
Vito
out
was
now.
Bam's uncle. He appeared in Viva La Bam. Bro was fucking crazy. Are you familiar with Lamborghini Tooth Pull?
Yes, I remember that one. I remember seeing them. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, they had to prep his tooth, so they like got a guy with pliers to loosen it, and then his doctor literally told him, "Yo, if you do this, you're gonna break your face."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Nah, I think we'll be fine." And it's like, "No, dude, your roots are so deep that if you do this, you're gonna break your whole face if you get this tooth pulled out." And they ended up doing it anyways. And I mean, even them doing the whole situation where they had to loosen the tooth just to make it happen, I was like, oh hell no, dude. You already know that's bad.
Yeah, dude. And his whole
Like, that ain't
skull
gonna work.
broke because of it.
Yeah, it fractured all the way up to like I think he said like up to his eye socket. He had to get a graft. He had to get a whole like skull graft of his eye over it and everything.
Yeah, and this is a stunt with the whole topic of Jackass Best and Last and showing like the repercussions and the dedication, and even similar to the bowl with Knoxville showing the repercussions for that for him. This is the plain and simple what a Jackass stunt is. Something happens, some shit happens, and then or the stunt goes down, some shit happens. Take two is gold. Everyone knows it for what it is, but you don't know what the take one is. And take one was not this Lamborghini tooth pull. What I'm about to show you is the birthplace of the Lamborghini tooth pull and how it wasn't supposed to be nearly as dangerous as what it was for Danger Aaron.
Starting off with a very well-known case of Jackass lost media is Don Vito in Jackass 2. Don Vito is the uncle of Bam Margera and is best known for his part in Viva La Bam as one of Bam's main prank victims. Bam and friends would consistently mess with Vito, sending him into gibberish-littered tirades. However, even though he was usually the victim of Bam's pranks, Don Vito was one of the most popular characters to come out of Viva La Bam. So, it isn't surprising that Don Vito was set to be included in the second installment of Jackass movies. Don Vito would shoot several stunts with the Jackass crew, however, shortly before the movie's release, Vito was arrested for allegedly touching two 12-year-old girls inappropriately. These accusations against Vito would result in all footage that included him being removed from the movie. There are two separate stunts that included Vito that are known, one of which is the human pendulum, which saw 5 people strung up like a Newton's cradle with Vito on the end. Vito was then lifted into the air and dropped into the other 4 members, like the ball.
This is another stunt I really wish they included, because you really don't need to know it's Vito, but holy fuck is this hilarious. Like the Newton's cradle with 2 fat people on the side, like, oh man, I wish they included this.
I remember there was like a similar stunt, but I think it was Lacey and Jackass. Like they were suspended on both ends, and Wee Man was in the middle. And then they released them, and then they like smacked right into him.
Yes, in Jackass 4,
nothing,
yes.
Yeah, but nothing like this. Like this was, like you said, hidden that you would never get to see.
Balls of a Newton's cradle. Other than these pictures on screen, nothing else has ever been shown from this stunt. The second stunt, and the one that is better known, is the original Lamborghini tooth pull. Vito sat in a dentist chair with a rope attached to his tooth, and the other end of the rope attached to Bam's Lamborghini. Bam would then speed off, yanking the tooth out of his mouth. This clip was teased in the official trailer for Jackass 2. However, this is the only footage we have ever seen of this stunt. Audio from this stunt can be found on the official soundtrack for Jackass 2.
Your teeth look like a whore's toenails.
Additionally, cameraman Joe France, who worked on Jackass and Viva La Bam, released a video announcing he would finally release the lost stunt on his YouTube channel. However, this was over 10 years ago, and the full stunt is yet to be uploaded. The only other media for this stunt comes from JackassMovie.com, which shows Vito handling the tooth.
They gave me Vicodin, but that's still just the blood. I just ripped the whole root out and everything.
Didn't have no cavities?
No, it was good. It would have lasted another 10 years. It was in there pretty good.
Franz actually owns the tooth from that scene, which he revealed via Twitter and even included a picture of the framed memorabilia.
So crazy.
Yeah, that would be one where it's like, you know. But my whole question is why did they cut that one out besides Aaron's? Because I'm like,
so
Aaron's was like,
here's the reasoning.
Really
Ultimately, the scene was later redone in Jackass 3 by Aaron McGeehee, but maybe someday the world will be able to see the original.
So, story goes is Don Vito had all these fucked up teeth and wanted Bam to pay for dentures.
Right.
So Bam's like, man, if you let me rip your last tooth out with my Lamborghini, I'll pay for a whole set of dentures. So Don Vito does the Lamborghini tooth pull. Bam starts paying for the dentures, and the stunt was never allowed in the film. But they were so upset they couldn't use that stunt in the film. So what they did was, as it is for Jackass, go down the totem pole. Who's doing it now? And Danger Aaron had like a snaggle tooth, and it was not ready. And someone needed to step up to the plate and be MVP for Jackass 3. And because that got cut in number 2, Aaron was next up to do the Lamborghini tooth pull. And that's how it came to be. But it wasn't supposed to be that fucking dangerous because Don Vito's tooth was already coming out. So that's one where the stunt actually made sense. But then when it came down to execution and what we actually saw, ended up being a lot fucking gnarlier than what was intended.
Yeah, I mean, because like my whole thing would be, okay, if the footage is still there, save the footage and keep it, and then just use it later on. Because like, why would they approve it later on? Like, why would they be like, okay, this is all good to do later on, like after the fact?
Well, they didn't. So what happened is it was meant for Jackass number 2, and they had it in the trailer, but midway through, Don Vito was arrested for lewd behavior with a minor.
Oh, okay.
So what they did was
so
what
they had to cut it.
they scrubbed him out, but they didn't
I remember
only.
that whole part, yeah.
But they also meticulously painted him out before CGI was a thing. They painted him out of each frame of the movie.
Really? Oh wow.
So,
damn.
Hold on, I'll go back to the video real quick. They literally scrubbed him out. Don't try this. Bam and friends would consider even the character set to shoot was accusations against Vito would result in all footage that included him being removed from the movie.
Literally painted.
Against Vito would result in all footage that included him being removed from the movie.
So all the shit with Bam, he was just like painted out for real. Same way Bam was painted out in Jackass 4.
Right.
I'm going to play this real quick because
Yeah,
I got to piss really quick.
There are two separate stunts that included Vito that are known, one of which is the human pendulum, which saw 5 people strung up like a Newton's cradle with Vito on the end. Vito was then lifted into the air and dropped into the other 4 members, like the balls of a Newton's cradle. Other than these pictures on screen, nothing else has ever been shown from this stunt. The second stunt, and the one that is better known, is the original Lamborghini tooth pull. Vito sat in a dentist chair with a rope attached to his tooth, and the other end of the rope attached to Bam's Lamborghini. Bam would then speed off, yanking the tooth out of his mouth. This clip was teased in the official trailer for Jackass 2. However, this is the only footage we have ever seen of this.
My bad, y'all. Had to piss real quick. Yeah, so the fucking the Lamborghini tooth pull has been yet to see. That is one of my all-time favorite stunts that Aaron did, and I really want to see Don Vito make a return somehow, some way, so we could finally see that footage, because that's definitely something from the Jackass fucking the archives that's been well hidden, but also not. Well, I guess it's not really that well hidden. I guess that's a lie, because it's been leaked in certain ways, but not like people know
like if
about
you know,
it.
you know.
Yeah, it's like if you were there, you know, type thing.
This is the bungee jump.
When's the last time a movie made you really laugh? Cry.
Are you crying? Yeah.
Scream. Cover your eyes. Or beg for mercy.
Get me out of here.
On September 22nd.
Where'd he go?
There's nothing else like it. Jackass number 2, rated R, starts September 22nd.
So that was where he made the appearance. But one thing that we spoke about a second ago that I think kind of has like a lack of like not the spirit of Jackass, but like the formula definitely that felt missing was the soundtrack. We didn't have like a soundtrack where people like remember a song and you're like, oh yeah, like this was cool. Like for the first few movies we had CKY and there was big CKY involvement, so that always made sense. But we didn't have like a song for this movie, and we didn't have a soundtrack where like when stunts played it felt like the old films. So then when something bad would happen and it would just cut straight to darkness and then we'd go to the next bit, it would feel like almost like a reset, but also like some awkwardness in that reset of like, oh, what is about to happen? What's, you know, are we about to be sad? Are we about to see something funny? I'm not too sure really what is going on in Jackass 5. And I think that's like one thing that this film, I don't know if it failed to do or just felt different, but it was definitely something I wasn't necessarily. Oh, what the hell is called? My bad. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of, because it would be stunts like the electric chair with Knoxville, where they'd ask him some pretty interesting questions, some pretty big questions about what's next for the franchise, why he did certain things, and he would respond, he'd get zapped, and then would go to the next bit, and you wouldn't really know where that next question or the lead up to that electric chair bit would go, and would just kind of lead up to, is this the last Jackass? And Knoxville kind of hits like a sniffle and a whimper, and it's like, yeah, it is. And it cuts, and you just kind of go back into, well, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to the escape room from hell. And like that cut to silence,
yeah,
it feels like a reset. Like you have to like kind of like suck it up real quick and then start laughing. And that's kind of the glory about Jackass, but also the really unsettling part about this movie, because then when it cuts to black and it's Knoxville suffering brain injury, and then you kind of have to laugh in the next bit or you have to cry in the next bit, it feels like a reset every time you're watching a bit. And because there wasn't anything as grand that was new in this film as big as the tooth pull or Terror Taxi or big involvement from the other crew, that's really what felt like missing in this movie, was like the meshing of how each skit led into another. Even like what was really upsetting to me is like the crew interviews and like how they led into each stunt and how they gave context. It was like kind of like vlog style commentary between Knoxville, Spike, Steve-O, Knoxville, sometimes Wee Man, and they'd tell like, you know, their introduction into what they thought about like this old stunt or a stunt you were about to see, and it gives really good context, but it lacks the Jackass flair and makes it feel like a point five or a documentary or a Paramount special or even like a YouTube video that a lot of these people like partake in nowadays that are even like bigger production. Is like you'll know this, Julio. It's like when you watch like a Jackass interview back in the day, you're waiting for something fucking bad to happen. Like I was kind of hoping like someone would come up with a stun gun or someone would come up with something and like hit someone from behind, pause. But like there's a lot of that missing in this film where like they're talking about the lead up to a prank, but they're not getting hit. There's nothing happening. It's just like, oh yeah, a formal introduction, but it lacks like the storytelling. And what makes Jackass funny is like usually there'd be like a funnier setup to that.
Yeah, and I think like to piggyback off that, I get it because like with the previous film, like for example, when Danger Aaron was doing the cup check, they were like, okay, like we're gonna walk you through every person that's gonna be doing this cup check with him, and they're like, oh yeah, this was a professional softball player, professional hockey player, and then it reaches all the way up to the professional UFC boxer hitting him in the crotch and shit. And it's like it kind of gives you the build up, like okay, you're seeing what he's dealing with, and you're getting like little small interviews. And I feel like like you said, like when he's going through the electric chair and he's given like the big question, and he answers it, and it's really heartfelt, and it hits the audience, and everybody's like, man, like damn, that was tough. This is really over. And then it goes into the next scene where it's kind of more high paced, and you have to kind of like, all right, got to bear down. This is what it is. Like it keeps moving on. It's one of those things where it's like, damn, I really wish they kind of stuck with that whole idea of like, okay, let's build a little bit more story behind like what's happening, like how they build the stunts, how everything is created, because like that kind of builds like the kind of allows people to be a little bit more behind the scenes and be like, okay, yeah, I can build a better connection to this, as opposed to like, okay, like he's just telling us that Jackass is over. Why is he saying that? Like, what were the questions before that? Like, can we get some context as to the reason why he's so upset for this particular question?
Agreed.
And then,
Or even
when
them
it comes to
talking
the
about like
stunt,
the self-defense stuff. And it's like Spike, Jeff, Steve-O, or no, Johnny Spike or Johnny, Jeff, Steve-O, and they're talking about it just like them like at the Paramount lot, like kind of just chilling in office chairs talking about it. I miss this. I really liked how they spoke about the stunt here. Starts like a real Jackass stunt, but it fails.
Flying nut high five is the attempt to jump up in the air, running at another dude, spread your legs, and then knock your nuts together. But it never worked. Surprisingly difficult. Bam's Liberace diamond-covered soles. It's the worst thing ever.
What? Did I get sabotaged or am I just
No, they're both, look at this. You just don't know how to sit right.
This chair, man. Fucking
this chair, man.
It's like the most flimsy fucking chair I've ever met.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's the flyer nut high five. Oh!
God damn.
Why don't you guys take your shoes off? Why don't you shut the fuck up? We stood up on the same chairs. Look at yours. Just crumbling.
It's rude. Oh, man.
Bro, his chair is shit.
Okay, this is the wrong interview. This is something that only Bam and fucking Ryan could do. Hold on. I'm thinking of when they're doing the interview and they fucking kick the chair from under him.
Damn, I'm trying to remember that one. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about though? Or like they'll go
I
up
remember
behind them
seeing
and
it.
taser.
Yeah, or they'll just run just like, yeah, I know what you mean. It has to be like one of the movie interviews, like the onset, you know.
Totally. It's like that's like the classic thing though with Jackass. Like they set up the interview and it's never really an interview. It's always a setup. And that's definitely what was missing in this film was there was nothing really set up. And I don't think there's many things. I'm trying to look through this list right here. Like we have the new stunts. A lot of this is Poopies, Steve-O, Danger Aaron. But the one thing that's a really big bummer is we get announcements of the new cast, but we don't get involvement from Rachel Wolfson. We don't get involvement from Dark Shark. We don't get involvement from Preston Lacey, which is a huge, huge bummer. And what's kind of funny and not so shocking is like all these new stunts right here have to do with putting stuff up your butt, which is like we've taken the Jackass and they're like made it very, very, very literal, like robot prostate exam, hot potato with Zach's butt, the electric balance beam with Poopy's penis, like ping pong ball launch. If you've seen it, you know. So there's a lot of stuff that just have to do with like very individual things, but then we have Extreme Makeover with Poopies. Something that Stephanie did with all like the stunts that I thought like would have been cool with Rachel is like having Rachel give Poopies the injections. I think that would have been awesome. Electroshock shaving tattooing. I also think Rachel being the one flexing would have been great. I really like how Zach stepped up to the plate and did the tattoo for the electroshock shaving.
Right.
I think Zach and Poopies really stepped up on this one. Steve-O really fought for the MPV spot.
I really saw those diggins that he got. Zach specifically, dude. I was like, damn, bro, he really didn't hold back on that.
Yeah,
100%. I was like, damn, he was bleeding on those. I was like, dude, needle to bone.
Yeah, dude.
Like, goddamn.
Zach and Steve-O were fighting tooth and nail for that MVP spot for number 5. And I really think Poopies took it.
Poopies? Really?
Yeah, I think Poopies is MVP for Jackass number 5. Because he did
was the one that took Zach.
He did hot potato. He did hot potato. He had his face in there.
I don't think so. I thought
he
Aaron
did. It went from Jasper to Poopies to Aaron.
Okay, so he got like second. He wasn't really in the. Because the last guy, like Aaron, he really got it dropped on him like that. He wasn't breathing.
It went from nose to nose though, so it was like.
Yeah.
It was a stunt meant for Aaron, but Poopies was more involved than Jasper. I'll say that much. So he did hot potato, electric balance beam, shaving, and extreme makeover. Okay. He even redid the filler for the premiere.
Extreme makeover, yeah, that's when he got filler in his lips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Poopies really took the MVP. Why do I keep fucking that up?
I would have said Steve-O for real, dude, because he did the robot. You know, that one was like, I'll be real on that one. I mean, I would say Steve-O kind of took it on that one. When it comes to MVP, I would say Steve-O just because of that. Because I'm like, bro, he dealt with the most from that goddamn robot. That was fried.
See, I feel that, but Steve-O just likes, I feel like Steve-O likes putting stuff up his butt now. Because Steve-O came to them with the ping pong ball launch, and he came to them with the robot prostate exam. Poopies, and I'm not the biggest fan of bro. Like he out of all the new cast, he's my least favorite, but I gotta give it to him. Between Hot Potato, Electric Balance Beam, Electric Shaving, and Extreme Makeover, I mean, he did most of the stunts, honestly.
Right.
He did a really great job. I'm gonna give
He
him his flowers
participated
where
he
it's
has a
due.
better rating.
He did more than Pontius. He did more than Dave. He did more. I mean, Preston Lacey didn't even have a stunt.
Damn, is that right?
He didn't.
Let me think. Shoot.
Preston Lacey, Rachel Wolfson, and Dark Shark.
Oh yeah, they just played a lot of his older ones. I think the one that we saw was the football kick to his face. I think that was that one that we saw.
Mm-hmm. So that's a big bummer because Preston, everyone loves Preston, and that video did blow up pretty crazy on my TikTok, where people were definitely hoping for bro, but
he is on I would say he's on the older side too. He's probably not gonna want to be put into any like hard situations type shit. It would have been crazy. I don't know if I am I remembering wrong. Did he not get shot by like a cannonball or something like that?
Yeah, King Kong just is so funny. He has so many good ones. Like him and Wee Man just dressing up is timeless. It's always so funny.
Yeah.
Him and Wee Man are just the best duo. And especially with Zach joining the crew. Yeah, so much. That there is, but my major takeaway with Jackass 5 is the pacing. It was definitely odd for me. They played a lot of these old clips very intentionally to show that this very much is the ending and the last one, through showing loss, through showing extra clips, through showing traumatic instances that were never showed in the final cuts of the first films. And one thing that I believe that I really wish we could have seen from the new cast, the old cast, at least content from the newer side of things was, and we've mentioned this before with Rachel, is instead of revisiting old stunts, is redoing old stunts. I would have really loved to have seen like Poopies hit the Poo Cocktail Supreme, or like damn near like the self-defense equipment, like Jackass could have hit that with the fireworks one more time, or like Jasper and Dark Shark hitting the Party Boy one time, but it's like the Crip Walk, so it's like the new version of it. Like there's a very big lack of like pranks and like public disturbance stuff that like only Jackass could get away with Paramount. And I really feel like there was a big missed opportunity with, as meta as things are, as big as things social media like blow up. Like if you saw the Impractical Jokers filming in New York, like you would know. If you saw a Jackass stunt being filmed in person, you'd know, unless it was really, really well done. And that's some stuff like only YouTubers get away with now. But it would have been really funny to have seen something go viral online. We see it online for a week or two, and then we realize, holy shit, it was Dave Englander. Holy shit, that was Chris Pontius, and it was for the new Jackass movie. And like the Jackass guys kind of manipulate like social media and are able to take that meta into their own hands. I felt like that would have been really interesting. Like seeing not only the old cast teach the new cast the old stunts, but then also seeing the social media and like the in public stuff like kind of play out in person in 2026. Because there's a lot of stuff like the Hacksaw deal that we watched, like that wouldn't flow now, but let's see. And I feel like that's like a lot of the joy in Jackass. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I would have liked to see that too in terms of like the way how they're like you said, it'll be funny to see the old school like tricks and gigs happen with all the new school guys. Like get to see like how they take all that. Like I was hoping they were gonna show the taser hallway. Like I would love to see like a bit
Electric
like that where
Avenue.
it's like a yeah, Electric Avenue, yeah. Where it's the taser hallway, everybody has to walk through it, but have it be with the new guys and be like, okay, these are old bits that we've done before, but just put the new guys through them. They already seen them before. They have to be like, it'd be one of those things like, oh yeah, they told us we're coming in for a COVID meeting today. We're hoping everything's good. It was like, okay, the door's to the left. Trap them in and kind of like have it be a thing, but it would have been a lot more interesting, like you said, in regards to having those older gags, older skits, and just like things that they've done before kind of be redone. But it also kind of puts my mind into the idea of like, okay, well, how many times have people seen this be done on Jackass and they want to recreate it, and this shit happens on like a regular basis, not with the right camera crew, but it's also like one of those things where like, okay, they have to be a little bit more fresh with it. But I would have loved to see a lot more of the newer people in it, because it didn't feel right like when the last scene of the movie was running, when it's just all the old heads on there. I was like, man, it'd been cool to see the new heads like somewhere, but they all like popped up at the very end, like once the scene was done. It was like kind of like a behind the scenes, like, oh, behind the scenes celebration or whatever. But it was very like interesting to just not see as many involvement in that particular field, because I'm like, oh yeah, you guys have done these stunts before. You guys already know the outcomes. How funny would it be to see like Dark Shark in like the Toro Totter and have all the newbies on the tour, like instead of Knoxville getting hit with the bulls, now everybody else got to deal with the bulls, and they got to go on the Toro Totter, and everybody's on there, and they got like different people up there. Like that would have been sick. Or what's another one? Flying Icarus, having somebody get shot out the thing. It would have been funny to see Zach get shot out and see
I
how
don't
big of a
think that
belly
could
flop he
happen
does
with
into
this
the
fat
river.
ass, but I would have loved to have seen like fucking like pranks be done. Like there was a big lack of pranks in like public disturbance.
Yeah.
And I really feel like with TikTok and stuff like that, like it would have blown up instantly. So it really would have had to have been like a really well thought out thing where like they know how social media works and stuff like that. Cause like imagine like you're on the street, you see something blow up on TikTok, like, yo, what the fuck was that? No one knows it's Knoxville. And then you see it in the new movie and it's, oh, it was for a stunt, bro. That's hilarious. Or, oh, that was Knoxville doing that shit. And the whole time we just thought it was like some random social media shit. Like that would be funny because like you don't see Jackass being filmed nowadays, but it would have been interesting to see like a big like commotion happening in like Compton or something like that. And it's like Dark Shark doing Keep God Out of California. And he's like crip walking in the devil suit.
Or I don't know. I think it was in the film. It was Wee Man going in with like his girlfriend, and they're both like they're both little people, and they go in, and then everybody else starts coming in. I was like, bro, if they redid that, but in like a different area, like somewhere else where like they're gonna get a bigger reaction, that would have been crazy as hell. Or if they did a bad grandpa scene, but they added like two more people to it. They added Jasper, or they added like somebody else in the crew. Did the whole makeup and everything, put them through everything, had them go through the runner and just like, cause a ruckus. That would have been insane. That would have been funny as hell.
I agree. Like you would have had like different perspectives. You would have had like Poopies and Dark Shark in their neighborhood. You would have had Rachel in her neighborhood and what she does. Then you got Poopies like at the beach. Like you got like a couple different like funny perspectives where I think like the use of pranks was definitely not over, and I feel like they thought it was, but I definitely feel like there's still an opportunity where they could take advantage of social media and make stuff really funny happen. I would have loved to have seen more of that. And I would have loved to have seen, like I said, more like when they set up the old pranks or the new pranks, it just be more entertaining, or have more of a lead up, or have like the information being spread like make more sense. Because I love how in the Big Brother documentary, how everything that was said was very intentional. It had meaning. Everything was played within a storyline, very much how this one did. But then it's separated in between bits, almost like very much like a Jackass film, where you almost kind of don't need that storyline and almost need more entertainment. Where almost like pre-planned interviews where someone's getting hit in the face would have just been so much better of a send-off. And instead of rewatching old stuff, being able to see old stunts be recreated, see the old, like the new blood get a taste of what the old stuff was, and people get to watch it, but then also see something new. And then also in the 0.5 or whatever they were planning on doing afterwards, it being then the uncut stuff that people have been waiting for a home, and it's all the best, like truly the best and last stuff. I feel like over half the film was a big chunk of reused content. And while like, you know, I went with my girlfriend and she had never seen a Jackass film. So for her, you know, seeing the poo cocktail and the omelet and the Toro Totter and the alligator tightrope and the high five, like those are fucking hilarious, timeless. Like Bad Grandpa, she never seen Bad Grandpa. So like all of that was hilarious. But it's just like for the people that have been waiting for this shit, love this shit. I felt like there have been other instances where these stories have been told better, and also better instances where these stunts could be shown in a better light. And also the choice of stunts re-shown could have been better, as in like where they really promoted this being the vault, the stuff you've never seen before. I really think like if we want to talk about like, you know, that type of shit, Stephanie with her major fallout with the group, the real first girl member, and why she's never shown again is important. I think the Don Vito tooth pull, super important. Love that. There's also another stunt we didn't talk about, including Dave England during the promotion of Jackass 2, where there was a town hall meeting in basically they were against the Jackass films being shown at a high school, and Dave England was shot out of a cannon or ran up on the mayor of LA or something like that, and essentially like mauled her. And he had to like write her a whole letter about like why he was so sorry and had to apologize to her son and how he had to like witness the whole thing happening. But like the whole crew was there filming it in promotion of the film. And there is footage of Dave England being shot out of a can. Let me pull this up. I'm definitely paraphrasing and I don't want to paraphrase, but there's a crazy stunt involving Dave England where it shows like, like, you know, very similar to Knoxville with the hacksaw. It shows in a different light, like, oh shit, like these guys really like these guys really went for it.
On his head. He wrestled with everyone and spent. In 2002, Jackass threw a promotional event, which was a town hall meeting that included members of the Jackass crew and angry members of the public voicing their opinion of the Jackass show. This meeting took place in April of 2002 and happened at Hollywood High School in Los Angeles, California. The event was most likely to promote Jackass the movie, however, I couldn't confirm this fact anywhere online. One of the on-set extras, a woman by the name of Wendy Linden.
Oh, okay, so it was an on-set extra.
Supposedly giving a speech about the dangers of a show like Jackass. However, partway through her speech, Dave England had some sort of switch flip in his head, causing him to full speed catapult himself into the lectern, which Linden was standing behind. The jump would result in Linden falling to the cement floor, which hurt her considerably. To make matters even worse, Linden's son was present during the incident and had to witness the whole thing. As a result of the cannonball, Lyndon alleged that she had to have surgery and promptly sued Viacom over the incident. It's unknown what came of this lawsuit, but one thing that was released to the public is the handwritten letter from Dave England. In the letter, Dave addresses Lyndon and apologizes for his actions. This letter is as follows.
Dear Mrs. Lyndon, I would like to begin this letter by sincerely apologizing for my inexcusable and uncalled for behavior Sunday, April 21st at the town hall meeting. Since then, I have been consumed by feelings of shame, humiliation, and guilt. I feel so terrible that I affected your life in such a negative and hurtful manner. Although I realize my conduct was, to say the least, in poor judgment, I honestly had no intentions of harming you at all. In fact, until this point in my life, I've considered myself to be a decent person and highly respectful of others. I also would like to commend your son on his extraordinary ability to exercise physical restraint. He had every right to give me a severe beating, but somehow managed to keep his cool. I appreciate this and would like to extend an additional apology to him for having to witness such a disturbing incident happen to his mother. As a result of my actions that Sunday, I have lost considerate respect and faith for my coworkers and superiors. Frankly, I've been having a hard time just living with myself. I wish there was some way to go back in time and take on the role of a responsible human being instead of a reckless animal. Obviously, this is not an option. So instead, I have chosen to write you this letter in hopes that it somehow helps you to deal with this offensive, ugly situation I have brought upon your life. I hope you were able to make a speedy and full recovery, and again, I am very sorry. Sincerely, Dave England. P.S. I hope you have a great Mother's Day.
Insane.
That's so fried.
So
That's so fried. And I mean, the see, there's that contrast of like the type of stunts that were like fried, but like, man, the one thing I would have loved to see brought, like you said, the type of stunts where the new school can be like dealt with and they're easy, like easy to manage and everything. Easiest one, like we saw it all in Jackass 4, the matcha stand that had the fist coming out and smacking him in the face. Or what I would have loved to saw was the original Rocky where they splash water in their face on one hand and they hit him in the face with the boxing glove in the other. Like while they're like you said, like how they're doing interviews, you just somebody comes up behind him, water to the face, boxing glove to the left, and it's like, oh shit, you just got hit with the Rocky, and you get the slow-mo and everything.
I
Like,
got
that would have
one.
been a funny compilation to see. But
Here's a missing Jackass 4 stunt. Once again, something that could have been included that we have not seen yet.
It's weird because it like in the last movie they did stuff with the porta potties and ambushing, but like sure enough, like on this movie I walked right into a porta potty and it, without thinking like about being ambushed at all, and it blows. I mean, it blows up and there's fire in there. I'm like, whoa, they're going really far on this one. And they blew up porta potties on anyone who was foolish enough to walk into them, and then use the best ones. So
yeah, I mean, I think
His was not used.
it's not used.
All we saw was the Danger Aaron cut, which is such a bummer. So we have multiple cuts of the Jackass 4 exploding porta potty, which is super, like, bro, that's a 5-second stunt, but so goddamn funny.
Interrupted by an explosion. I think it was Aaron that was blasted out of the toilet.
Okay, put the gun down, Gun down. It's loaded, it's hot. What the fuck? Oh, God damn it! Seriously? Fuck
See, it had to have been done at a certain point in time where they're like, okay, like this is the only best time to really get this shot with everything that's going on. Like,
See, funny enough with this one, it seems like they were in the middle of something, they heard it go off, and they just heard Aaron screaming. Yeah. Like this, it seemed like they picked the best reaction, and Chris's reaction wasn't as Like, obviously, Aaron's fucking screaming like a bitch, but like his reaction's hilarious. But this one's funny because they literally were fucking. They had to stop what they're doing and fucking run over so they could be peanut gallery and react to it because they know they're recording.
Aaron,
That's the biggest thing.
blasted
Yeah.
out of the toilet.
If he did it when nobody was there, it would have been like
You see it from the fucking side.
Hey, put the gun down, put the gun down. Gun down. It's loaded, it's hot, it's hot. What the fuck? Oh, God damn it. Seriously? Fuck you guys. Yeah, we got Aaron. What do you mean did it get me? We were shooting in the field and we saw a huge fireball from over here, and everyone dropped the whole bit and started running. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh.
But then our hunt was
So yeah, dude. That's a really quick one, a really quick prank that's in the vault. That is yet to have been seen, which is a huge bummer. Yeah. That one's a huge bummer. Shaq also wanted to be in Jackass 4, but I guess they didn't do it. He wanted to box Knoxville like Butterbean. Could have been after the bull.
Could have had him box Jasper or Dark Shark. That shit would have been funny too.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Another lost.
Or Preston, bro. Just have them when a rock meets an immovable object type shit.
Speaking of Shaq, there's a lost Jackass 2 music video that they shot where everyone's doing stunts and it's for a music video that Shaq did.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I would have put that past Shaq, but that's crazy.
I wonder if there's video.
I will say one thing about the movie. It was definitely one of those things where, like you said, the pacing of it was just really weird. You know, where it went from like one stunt to another. You know, one after the other. It really wasn't like cohesive, I guess you can say. It was cohesive to an extent, but it could have been a lot more cohesive if they allowed the clips to breathe. Like if they allowed like a little bit more, like what people said after the fact, or like when they did the interviews with Knoxville and the electric chair. If they, you know, let the clip breathe and at least allow like another minute or two of what was said before that question was made and to make it, you know, feel relevant. For a lot of people, I feel like it was just like we're hopping into like a camera reel. We're not really getting the full picture.
I kind of felt the opposite. I felt like they breathed too much and it lacked cohesion where like the Ryan Dunn and Bam instance that we showed, it's like, if you're going to tell a story, show the whole thing, but also like keep it entertaining, keep it fun. And like, if you're going to storytell and make sure you get the whole story out in the bit and show why it's important, show why, you know, it's, you know, the best and last for real. Like, I feel like a lot of the stunts, like the Wee Man one in the bar or the Poo Cocktail Supreme, hilarious, like one of the funnier stunts, but like you don't know why or what the impact was made, or like you see the hacksaw bit, but you're not like, you kind of have to paint it in your head and show like, oh, you cannot do this today, and that is why we're showing this. There's a lot of missing reasoning and lack of kind of storytelling within this, and I feel like it breathes like almost too much in the fact where we see a lot of this kind of fizzle out over time. But nonetheless, extremely interesting movie, extremely fun movie. Happy we got to see it nonetheless. But to close off, Jasper's interview I did kind of opens up that possibility of maybe getting new Jackass. Like, who knows? Because when I asked him what his favorite stunt was, I got a much, much different answer than everybody else.
Something new that we ain't filmed yet. Something new that we ain't filmed yet.
He said something new that they haven't filmed yet. So that makes me think, are we getting a Jackass series revival? because we were talking so much in this about, will the old cast or will the new cast do the old stunts? We're talking a lot about will the new cast do the old stunts, recreate stuff, take, what was so iconic about the old Jackass series and reinventing it in 2026. And we don't know if we will get that series revival. It seems like confirmation from Jasper here. There's a better potential than not that we may be seeing a return to Jackass one way or another through some series finale. And I'd love to see him, Rachel, Jackass, Poopies take the front line with potentially like a Knoxville or an Eric Andre and see what we could do to revitalize the show. I think it'd be awesome, but who knows? Jasper's also known to fuck around and not be 100. So who knows? We could just be, could be the very end. Who knows?
Could have been Josh, and for all we know.
100%. But he did say here something they haven't filmed yet. So who knows?
Something new that we ain't filmed yet.
Possibility.
Because there were last year they're talking about it. Let me see. Yeah, they just put him back onto MTV. A lot of the series was restored 4 years ago. They were talking about the series making a return, but nothing ever came from it. So who knows? We're in a different time with COVID though, so
that's true.
New Jackass series in the works at Paramount. Do I have to pay to read this? I do. Oh, no, I don't. Heading back to the small screen for Paramount Plus after the immense popularity of Jackass Forever.
So we got some new news.
This was from like 4 years ago, but who knows?
Yeah, and my whole thing too is like chances are, like the way how I'm seeing it now that Knoxville is running Fear Factor, that easily could have been like a knockoff. Could have been like a Jackass like Fear Factor. Like instead of it being Fear Factor, just kind of label it under the Jackass moniker, and then like put the same stunts, put those same people through the same stunts that everybody's been going through throughout it all, and like. That would have been cool too, because they could have been like, oh, we're going to be making we need more people for the Jackass movies. So we're going to be putting out these tryouts like how they do with Fear Factor, and everybody signs up and they select the people and then they put them through the ringer and they're like, all right, these are all the stunts that we did when we went through this. So, you're signing up for the bulk of it. So that would have been pretty cool. But I mean, they're doing the Fear Factor bit right now, which could possibly bring more characters or at least more, figures into that situation. But to me, I mean, that is pretty wild if they're going to do like a full run like on Hulu or Netflix or any kind of platform where it was going to be like episode by episode. I would figure it'd have to run like under the same format as like Fear Factor, because there's no way that they're just going to be like like it would make the most sense, like, okay, let's get a group of these people that want to be Jackass participants, put them through the ringer, and whoever survives, like the top 5 that survive, they're going to be put into like the next movie for like this, that, and the third, or like whatever it may be. The most memorable people might get put in there for like short clips or whatever it may be. It's like it's kind of a weird thing, but then now that I think about it, it's like, okay, they probably wouldn't want to do that, because every season they're going to be getting 5 new people that are going to be running in the ringer to be like the next leaders for it, and it's like,
I'm not the biggest fan. I honestly love the idea of I've always wanted them to source through Instagram. And that's how they found Rachel Wolfson, was through Instagram Reels, which I thought was cool. And I think Zach was a mutual friend to a certain degree, but for the most part through Instagram. And I think like finding like the most gnarly people on social media, kind of like ridiculousness and staying true to the Big Brother roots, and like the gnarliest people put together clips and they submit them, and to the people that get the most views and the people that are, you know, doing their thing on their own terms, they bring them on and they're able to get a paycheck. Kind of like how Jackass and Big Brother was, like Steve-O hunted them down tooth and nail and proved himself, you know? So I don't know. I like to see that shit. Jackass 5 was a fun watch for someone that is brand new to the franchise and that has never seen any of these stunts happen before. Holy shit, you're going to have a great time. To people that are looking for better or looking for more, this is a fun watch, but definitely probably stuff you have seen before. It's nothing you've never seen before.
That's true. Very true. There's a lot of it that's still like, yeah, a lot of good stunts that probably haven't been released to the light of day. I think there was a couple too that they had vaulted and they actually wanted to do them at that point. So it was a
Yeah.
really good watch. I mean, when I went to, it was like, the one thing I like about watching those films is the camaraderie that you get from everybody else that's sitting in the theater, because everybody else is doing the oohs and the ahs and the oh my gods, and they're doing them with you because you guys are all experiencing like the the cringe. You're feeling it in your bones all together. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you have the opportunity to see it in the theaters, go watch it in the theaters, because not only are you going to have an experience, but you're going to be able to like hear everybody else around you basically feeling the same energy you're going through. And it's fun. It's better that way in my opinion, because it's like you're going to watch what, like James Cameron's Avatar and nobody's saying anything. You're like, but bro, look at all this cool shit. And it's like, nah, dude, we're not gonna say shit. We're just gonna enjoy it. But this is one of those movies that like warrants you to say something, that warrants like you to be like, oh god, he just broke his leg. Oh, like they want you to say that shit. They want like the reaction from you. And it's kind of like a comedy show. Like when you go there, everybody feeds off the comedy. Like next thing you know, you're making friends with the person next to you because you're like, dude, that was so disgusting. Blah 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 blah. Like it just builds. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and I would say it was like one of those things where I'm like, I'm glad I got to see it in the theaters for sure. I know the last time when they put out the last movie, I think I saw it like 5 different times because we were just traveling throughout California and we are just like, oh, we're gonna stop at a theater and watch a movie, and we're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna watch it. Like, why not? Yeah, it's one of those films where you just have to keep it in your heart. But for sure, it's also like if you're a part of it, if you're a fan of this stuff, it's like it's a good thing to experience in the theaters. I'd rather prefer you to watch it in the theaters as opposed to watch it at home, because like what's the point? You have to be out there with the people. You got to experience it with everybody else.
I agree. I definitely think it was a funny watch. Interesting bit was it. I was the only person in the theater that said something about Bam when he was on screen. There was a pure silence in the Paramount theaters for Bam. I was like, oh, my bad.
Oh,
I said the B word.
I said the B word.
They show him Bam during
See, I
Silence
don't
of the
know.
Lambs, and I'm like,
I really don't know what's up
yeah.
with. I don't know what's up with Bam. I mean, at least with people being, against him or whatever. I mean, like, I don't know. The media is so convoluted. You really can't like believe what you see. So it's like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, motherfuckers hate on Bam. What was your favorite stunt from the movie?
Um, Damn, I gotta think. Damn, I'm trying to think of a good one. God damn it.
I think that wraps the shit up, man. Shout out to everyone that's been watching, bruh. This has been the review of the fucking Jackass movie, and then talking about just some funny ass stunts that we fuck with from the franchise, and then maybe Poopy's collab, bruh. Who knows? Shout out Julio for joining, bruh. This was a funny one. Hopefully in the next few weeks we could fucking see that happen. So shout out Poopies and shout out to everyone that was in the interviews, man. You got anything to end off with?
It was a pleasure though. Thank y'all for being here and checking in, and hopefully those of you guys that haven't got to see the movie yet, go see it in theaters. Don't wait till it comes out on streaming services. Go see it in theaters with everybody else and get that experience. Trust me, it's a once in a lifetime feeling. You can't miss out.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. See you in the next stream. Hopefully it is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader with Poopies. I love that shit. I'm so sold on that. That's gotta be it. Like he's perfect for that. He's perfect for that. And then we just got some stunts like on standby. Like we got the one chip, the rat traps, the taser. We just got it all on standby.
Level 2 rat trap.
I'm fucking.
Bro, that would be so fried. You're like, all right, you get level 1, 2, or 3 rat trap. He hits the level 3. It's one of those big ass rat traps.
Bro, bring out the wheel.
No,
bring out the wheel.
Bring out the wheel.
The spinner wheel. It's just random. You don't even know what you're gonna get.
Right. No, I remember seeing that one. That's definitely be able to put it to use at this point.
Yeah, dude. Finally. That's such a funny one, bro. Okay, y'all. We gotta manifest some good behavior. That's gonna be such a funny one. So, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader with Poopies? We still putting together the homeless stream with Jared, and then we got some other shit in the pipeline, but had to do this review because we got some cool clips popping off right now. So if you guys haven't seen the clips pages on both TikTok and Instagram, peep those. And yeah, see y'all in the next one, bro.
Perfect.
You're never too young to have a Vietnam flashback.
Yeah.